Hello again, Chris Richter here. Great to have you here. I hope you're getting lots of value out of the videos we've had so far, but this one is another one about HTML and JavaScript and creating an interactive activity for your students that automatically creates a height and a width number and then asks the student to work out what the area is. And it also displays a rectangle of the same ratio of the height and width as well, just to add something a little bit extra to it. And this is all done using pure JavaScript and some HTML. Make sure you subscribe because there is a collection of these videos. If you've missed any of them, check down the bottom or go back through the videos, the last few or some recent ones that have some more interactive activities that you can put into your education content. Again, these are ones you can change them to suit what you want. I've tried to keep them really simple, but I'm going to go through in this video and explain how I created them and what the code is that I used to do that. And hopefully you find it useful. So again, subscribe and keep an eye out for some more of these, but let's get started. The activity is, what is the area of a rectangle? And it's automatically created a height and a width using a random number, in this case 82 and 72. The student then puts in their answer of whatever their answer is. They choose check answer, and it will tell them whether it's correct or incorrect. Then they can either retry again with a new number, or they can go new question. When you go new question, it automatically updates the height and the width to a new random number, and then it recreates a rectangle of the ratio 42 by 19, creates that for you just down below so you can see the shape or the size of that to get some sort of concept or perspective of what the dimensions are. So that's what the activity is. Let's have a look at the JavaScript and HTML that actually creates that activity. First of all, the HTML is just this. That's it. There is a little bit of CSS in there that I added as well. And the reason for that is this is to hide and show the div that has correct or incorrect inside it. So we need a way of hiding and showing that. So to start with, I've just added RI hide, RI for ricochet. So the classes don't clash with your other classes that you might have in your content. And then RI hide display none just means that it hides the correct and incorrect. The rest of it is quite simple. We have heading 2, what is the area of the rectangle? There's our question. Then we have the shape information in a paragraph. So it's called ID shape info, which is just this text just here. Then we have an input, which is the area guess. So that's that input there. It's called area guess. With placeholder the word answer in there. Then we have check answer as a button, and then we have new question as a button. Then below that is the very last thing, which is right down the bottom here. We have the canvas, which is RI canvas, which is this box that basically creates the actual rectangle. When someone does get the answer correct and they go check answer, it will show correct by displaying the correct part here. Or if they get the answer incorrect, it will hide the correct part and display the incorrect one instead. So that's it, nice and simple. Now the JavaScript that goes with that. We're starting off with a shape width of 100 and a shape height of 100. So we're keeping this box into a 100 by 100. So we're really showing a percentage of that when we display the box. We need to get our canvas, the RI canvas. This is for our drawing section where we draw this shape. And then we're just setting the context as 2D for the canvas that we're using. So c.getContext is a 2D canvas. We just need to set that when we go to create the object. Our first function, which is the function that happens when the page loads, we basically say reset, which just goes and does a reset of everything and pretty much calculates a new height and a new width and redraws our shape. So let's have a look at the reset function first. So fn reset goes to here. All that does is go and find all of the response. Here's our RI response classes. So those two classes there, finds both of those. And for each of them, it adds RI hide. Remember, RI hide is a class that hides those objects. So that just makes them disappear. So they're out of sight at the moment. The area guess value, we reset this back to 0, back to nothing. So new question just resets that answer to nothing. We then randomly choose a shape width and a shape height. So this is a random number between 1 and 100. And that's basically how you calculate out the random width between 1 and 100. Nice and simple. Then we go to our shape. And this is our drawing area, our 2D drawing area. And we're setting a position of 0 and 0 with a C width and C height. So we're just saying we want a 0 by 0 canvas area with 100 by 100. And then we're starting our begin path, which is just basically telling our shape that we want to draw a rectangle from 10, 10. So our canvas is outside here, but then we're drawing this shape 10 inside. And the shape width will just be 100 times 2. So our maximum width will be 200, our maximum height will be 200. And I should have explained just before that, the canvas size is 250 by 250. Because we're using 100 as our width and our height, I've multiplied it by 2 so it fills up the canvas area and leaves a little bit of space around it. So we've got that extra 50 pixels high and 50 wide. In this case, we're moving 10 in on the left and 10 down from the top left, moving that down and then drawing a shape inside there. Then all we do is tell it to, because it's CTX rect, is rectangle. We're just doing a rectangle from 1010 to the diagonally opposite corner, which if it was the maximum width would be 200 by 200. Then we just set a stroke, which is basically drawing the shape. And then the last bit is we go to shape info, RI shape info, which is here, RI shape info there as an ID. We find that ID and we add in the text inside the inner HTML for this paragraph. We add in height equals and our shape height, comma, width, shape width, and that's that little bit there. That's how we got that text in just there. So that's how it creates everything when it goes reset. And reset is also the new question. So when they click on new question, there's a button. There we go, RI new question. It just runs off to the reset function and resets it again with new numbers. So it's not keeping score of your answers or anything like that. It's just giving you new questions over and over and over. So the last bit is the check answer. So when they do put an answer in there, so they put in 4,800 and they go check answer, it is actually correct. Check answer, which is there, goes to add event listener click function, which is function check. Let's go to our function check, fn check function here. First of all, we just go to our RI response and we clear all of those. We add hide to all of these ones here, which when I say all of them, it's only those two. Those two here. So we're hiding the correct and incorrect response in case that was from a previous question while we work out what the new response should be. We then get RI guess answer value. So we're getting the value out of here and setting that to the variable guess. We then compare, we need to convert this to an integer. We use parse int guess to convert that to an integer. We then check whether that equals the, again, parse integer because we want to make sure it comes out as an integer. And we're doing shape width times shape height because the area is that times that. Gives us our area. So we're just comparing that the guess that they gave from here is equal to this one. If it is equal, then we find RI correct, and there's RI correct, which is currently hidden, and we tell it to remove RI hide, which makes it visible so they can see it. If it's incorrect, then obviously we find the RI incorrect div, and we remove hide from it, and it shows the incorrect div so they can see that instead. And that's all there is to it. Nice and simple. So the last thing to do is embed that. So we go to embed, we just remove all of this. We'll go to iframe and we'll use iframe for that. You don't have to though. We'll go into our content in here. Just going to go into our page to view it, paste that in, select save. And when it reloads, it's now come up with height equals 35, width equals 15. We put in our answer, check answer, and it will tell us whether it's correct or incorrect. We may need to make that bigger so that the whole thing fits because our image that we've created here may be bigger. So we might need to stretch that out a bit. To do that, we go to settings, go into our code and select a height of say 500. Save and display. Now, when we go check answer or new question, you can see the box fits in nicely there. And even with a box that size, check answer, it still all fits when it shows whether it's correct or incorrect. 7300 is our correct answer. And that's how we create a JavaScript activity that we can embed into our content that allows students to interactively be able to calculate some mathematical equation and check the answer, show them if they're correct or incorrect, and in this case, draws the shape as well. Hope that's been useful. I'm Chris Richter. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.